I've been helping people since 2002. It's taken different shapes over the years, but it's who I am. Inside, I'm a healer. And because of that, I actually have kind of a blessing and a curse. I have the ability to see into the future about 12 to 18 months. And because of that, I think the best value I can give you today is show you 3 specific outcomes that are typical of these kinds of people. It's powerful because it puts the power in your hands. You get to choose which outcome you get. The first group I'd like to talk about are the peak performers. The peak performers are the ones, they're 60, 65 years old, they're at the gym, they're vibrant, they're doing everything they want to do. They are working out, and when they have issues, they're minor, and they get them corrected quickly. They get over it real quick. They're able to travel with their family, they're able to go on vacations without issues, and they're doing all the things that we know you want to be able to do. The next group is the typical person, or who we call the correctors, okay? The correctors, they take care of themselves, but only when it's really, really bad. You know these people too. They'll be in the gym, and then they disappear for a few weeks. They rest it off, and then they come back, and then they drop off in 3 or 4 months. So it looks like this. Something happens, and then they start doing things and they feel better. And since they feel better, what happens? They stop doing the things that got them there. And then it becomes this cycle of up and down, great, not great, great, not great. So they're taking Advil, they're getting quick cracks, whatever. And then all of a sudden they don't actually get to the root cause, so they plummet again. They take their series of quick cracks, low BS exercises, and Advil. They come up, and then they plummet again. And then the last one is the perpetual crisis, all right? You know these people as well. And these are the people we don't want to become. When they're 65, they're in a wheelchair because they're so tight. But here's the deal. It's like if they were to disappear for 5 or 6 years, it's like all of a sudden everything blew up and it just went really bad all of a sudden. But the path to hell is a slow drift. The path to that isn't all of a sudden off of a cliff. I call them building blocks of dysfunction. So way back here, they started at a 2 of 10, and then it became a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and 7. And they kept operating without doing the correct things. And then all of a sudden, magically, overnight, they become a train wreck. Time distorts the future. So what we do today is going to affect down here, isn't it? And it's really heartbreaking. We see these people in the gym. We see these people when we're out doing our activities, and we know where they're heading. And we don't want that to happen to them, but they never take care of it. The thing is the further we go down this way, the costlier it is. There's a financial cost and there's a physical cost. There's a psychological cost. Heck, when you're at your sport for a little while, when you're at your activity for a little while, you become a rattlesnake, don't you? So the thing is the longer you wait, the more costly it becomes. Now let's talk about on the complete opposite end of this perpetual crisis, we have the peak performers. It comes like this. These are the people we want to be, remember? Like they're vibrant and everything, and they have little undulations in their issues, but they're able to address it quickly. I had a patient when I first became Dr. Derek Huddleston, and at that point I didn't understand it. She came in and had no issues. I was like, why is she here? She's got no issues. But then she told me when she was a young girl, she used to go visit her grandpa. When she spoke with him, she had to get down like this and then look up because he was in a wheelchair and he was tight and stiff like this. She didn't want to become that. So I realized that peak performers address issues as soon as they find them, not when they become so very costly. And this is how I can help here at Advanced Chiropractic Performance. I have 3 phases in the program, okay? The first phase The first phase, what we do is we increase the range of motion, we increase your function, and when those two things go up, guess what? Pain just happens to go down. And then people start getting better and feeling better and getting better and feeling better. That's the activation phase. The next is the stabilization phase. Here what we do is we increase the joint capacity. So how can you get under a load? We increase the resilience. And when that happens, guess what? We decrease the risk of re-injury. And in the third phase here, you start to realize what it is to be a peak performer. You go, man, this is amazing. You start feeling better and you're able to do everything you want to do. And you go, oh my goodness, I want to stay here. And there's often this acceleration component. And with that acceleration component, a lot of my folks, they choose to go onto what we call a performance package. But let's talk about the most important part, the gap. It didn't happen overnight. They didn't just go like this. It was those building blocks of dysfunction that occurred over and over and over and over and over. But so too is this gap here. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes. So my job is to get you from this part here to right there. That's my job. I want to help you jump the lines, because as this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets more difficult to correct. Today is the closest you'll ever be to correcting the issue. So my question becomes, would you like to hold a conversation about correcting that issue today?